everyone, a pleasant day to all of you. I am Chelsea One together with my group mates Mr. Ilunteng, Mr. Naga, Miss Furio, Miss Taladua, and Miss Braga are going to share with you our analysis about the song Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell. A short background information we would like to share with you about our singer is that she was best known as Roberta Joan Anderson, born on the 7th of November in the year 1943 in the Fort Macleod, British Columbia in Canada. Is widely regarded as folk royalty from the year 1960s to 1970s. She has written several hits like this song, Both Sides Now, and Big Yellow Taxi. Her compositions were characterized by lyrical imagery and originality, which captures the attention of the folk music fans during her time.
Both Sides Now was inspired from the book entitled Henderson the Rain King. While on a plane, Mitchell was reading this particular book, and when she read that the main character was also on the plane looking down at the clouds, Johnny put down her book, looked out the window, and saw that there were clouds too, and then she immediately wrote the song, not expecting it would grow into popularity. The persona was described on the first-person point of view. It could be concluded that the speaker was in his or her adult age, seeing the ongoing changes in life. This is shown through factual dates, such as the year the song was released last 1968, along with the age of the composer in which Joni was still 25. Joni also expressed how she can only reconcile with herself and her art through saying these words. This is what I'm going through now. My life is changing. The conflict or tension seen in the lyrics is said to be a self versus self or character versus self conflict. The text is about life and maturity that was greatly shown in the lyrics of the song. It shows the two sides of life. First is the vivid imagination of a positive and imaginative person like a child, where life is full of colors and positivity. And the second side is a time where we feel down and sad, just like a person who was struck by the reality that this world is not like what we imagine when we are still young, that this world is cruel. Thus, showing the harsh illusion of life, that life is not what we imagined. It is somewhat sad and cruel, which shows how confused the person in the song is about what life really is.
Rows and flows of angel hair, and ice cream castles in the air, and feather canyons everywhere, look at clouds that way, was about how a child viewed the world as a perfect fantasy on its own innocent perspective. The singer includes elements that are indeed very dreamy and to a child's liking for their happiness. And so, as the child grew older, the harsh, cold truth of reality was nowhere near fantasy perfect. The line, "But now they only block the sun, they rain and snow on everyone," referring to the same clouds that brought them happiness when they were young, was now the ones who brought them pain and cold sadness, which was then symbolized by the rain and snow. Not to mention the frustration of being hindered in achieving what you want, because this is reality. Not everything we want we can get that easily. Unlike as a child, everything were laid upon us. This can be then interpreted in the line, "So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way." This stanza is about how life, under the symbol of the clouds, was mysterious and unspontaneous each time. Now in this reality, as we grew, it wasn't always a sunny cloud of happiness, as how a child had always envisioned it to always be. It can be a rainy cloud of pain and sadness at times. Thus, the line, "I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down and still somehow, it's clouds' illusions I recall, I really don't know clouds at all." There was no constant and definite explanation, because everything keeps on changing.
Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way that you feel as every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way. The moon pertains to long nights experienced by lovers, while June is the month that has the longest days. Ferris wheels have swaying cable cars that connect to the second line, in which there is a dizzy dancing way that the narrator has felt. This then all pertains to the narrator seeing love in the illusion side, where fairy tales having happy love relationships are becoming real. But now it's just another show, and you leave them laughing when you go. And if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. Just like a show, the dreamy definition of love in the previous stanza is seen to be ridiculous in the other's eyes, where they can just laugh it then off. The narrator having this definition of love should not then expose his or herself in that situation. I've looked at love from both sides now, from give and take, and still somehow it's love's illusions that I recall. I really don't know love. Really don't know love at all. As mentioned in the previous stanza, one should not give his or her everything in terms of loving others, since not all have the same definition of love. The narrator must have compared his or her own definition of love to others, and after knowing the results, he or she must have concluded not knowing love at all.
Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds, I've looked at life that way. To love is to enter a chaotic world, a roller coaster of feelings. At times you can be happy, sad, afraid, and such. Just how the reality of life can be. Dreams symbolizes the happy feelings, schemes for the sad ones, and the circus crowds for every other chaotic mixed feeling you get to discover along the way. Oh, but now old friends, they're acting strange, and they shake their heads and they tell me that I've changed. As life is not constant itself, we get to adjust ourselves every time to face each battle it puts in our way. These battles, although at times they may cost us a victory, or they may pin us to the ground, either way, it's a lesson. Well, something's lost but something's gained in living every day. We may lose our old self in the process of reaching that lesson, but it's for our own good to improve ourselves to be better. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose and still somehow. Life is a mysterious and a tricky race. To determine who won and who lost, at the end of the race is a finish line. But this kind of race doesn't have that. You just get to rest at the pit stop and get going again, not knowing when is the end. Thus, it's life illusions I recall. Hence, I really don't know life at all.
Now down to the last stanza, or the outro, which is, I've looked at life from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow. It's life's illusions that I recall. I really don't know life at all. Just like the previous stanzas that have this line, life is in the process of having ups and downs. The narrator, having seen both sides now, has only recalled his or her own definition of life, thus concluding he or she doesn't know life at all. Insights. The song reminds us that life is surprisingly unpredictable. We never know what will happen next or who we will become as we age. Significant human experience is then conveyed as we progress through life. We will face challenges or changes that we did not anticipate as we were still young. But these are then the ways that we become mature individuals. That is all for our song analysis of Both Sides Now by Johnny Mitchell. This is once again Group 5, and thank you for watching.